I welcome to the Village of Buchanan October 7th, 2025 board meeting. We, after the Pledge of Allegiance, are going to have a moment of silence for one is Donna Edwards, who is a longtime Buchanan resident that passed. She was on the planning board, and I believe she was chairwoman of the planning board at one time. And then also for Sean O'Mara. He was a Verplank commissioner, Verplank Fire Department commissioner. He would belong to the fire department for many years, a veteran and very well-known person here in the community. He had owned the O'Mara Funeral Home in Verplank. So after the pledge, we'll have a moment of silence. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you, everyone. Also, in case of emergency, please use the door, the emergency exit door here, and also do not use the elevator, use the staircase. So anytime there's a fire, please never use an elevator. Okay, so first on the agenda is the approval of the minutes for the August 26th workshop meeting, September 2nd board meeting, and September 9th special meeting. I know there's a lot of pages to read on these minutes. Does anybody have any questions, comments on the minutes?
No, I'm good, Mayor. Thank you.
All right, so a motion to approve those minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, comments from the floor, agenda items only. Under new business, there's a discussion regarding the site plan amendment for AMS. Is a representative from AMS here? Yes, if you could come up. And with us this evening is our engineer, George Palmer, our planner, Dave Smith, and also our building inspector is with us this evening, Peter Cook.
All right. Thanks for having us back. Ryan Sutherland with AMS. I'm sure, as you all have seen, we're making great progress on site. We're here tonight to go through some of the field changes that were made during the site development and construction. Most of them pretty minor and deemed as field changes. We've been reviewing with town staff, and I think they can concur on most points, but we wanted to walk through what those changes were to make sure that we're all on the same page. And then secondly, we're looking to put up some temporary leasing signage on the site that it varies from the zoning code, so we want to discuss that with you as well. So I think I want to start with the ladder. If you can flip to the last slide, Marcus, I can.
Second to last slide.
Second to last slide. We can talk about that.
This one?
Yep, that's it. Okay, so right now, I don't know if the zoning code specifically addresses temporary signage for leasing as we're proposing. But right now, there's two sections of the code that talk about the size of the signage relative to the distance from the property line, or from the street line, I should say. And within 20 to 50 feet of the street, you can have a 16 square foot sign total, or like an 8x2. 50 feet and beyond, you can have 15 square feet. And what we're looking to put up on the left side, you can see, which is sign 2, a 40 by 8 foot tall banner, which should be on top of the rock slope, so set back, almost a couple hundred feet from the street. Typically, this banner would be on the fence, blocking the vision into the site. But because of all the work on Albany Post Road, we wanted to put it up on the back so that we're not disturbing the actual signage that we're putting up. So that's sign 2. Sign 1 is an 8 foot by 4 foot V sign that will just face both directions, and just have visibility towards both sections of the street. And that's what we're proposed to put up for about a year, 8 months, really depending on how leasing goes. And wanted to talk about that.
Well, I don't know what the definition of temporary is, a year, 8 months to 18 months, you said possibly?
I mean, as much as 12 months, but probably not even that long, honestly. I will say that we're getting pretty good traction on the leasing side. We're about 10% pre-leased already, around 15 units, and that's about 1 month in, so we're getting a lot of interest.
So Peter, you would know the code the best?
Yes, we don't, there's nothing in the code that specifies temporary signage. It's either standalone or mounted to the building. And as Ryan explained earlier about the setback from the road, 50 feet less than or more than, it's bigger than those requirements, but it is temporary, so it's not permanent. We're not giving approval to leave the fence up that long. The signage, I mean, excuse me.
You know, anytime we change anything for anyone, we always have to look at if we're setting a precedent for future. It's not, okay, it's not a permanent sign,
No.
but, I don't know, it's up to the board.
Yeah,
I
just
you
like to add, if you just drive around, any construction site, you'll see huge banners on the fences blocking the site. And usually they're 8-foot construction fences with, an 8-foot tall by, it could be 100 feet long banner. And this effectively would be similar, just set back up on the hillside.
So the one up on the hillside is
Banner.
fairly
Yeah,
big. It is.
Effectively, like that would be on the fence ideally for us. But because of all the work we're doing at the street, we want to put it in the back so that we're not disrupting the fence.
Well, you're probably better off putting it in the back. It's going to be much more visual, even if you weren't doing work
That's-
on
that's
Albany
right as
Post
well.
Road. It's a fairly big sign. Like I said, I always worry about a precedent. There's going to be, and then we have another development coming. They're working on starting their development, so we'll have one there, and whatever other development. So,
Well, he already has a sign up.
Yeah, I mean, he's
I
had
see
sign
no
up for
problem
over a
with
year
this.
now.
okay.
Nobody said anything
This is
about it.
typical of a development of this nature. Anywhere in the county, you're going to see this. So I'm perfectly fine with it.
I am as well. I don't think no precedent is being set here. I think it's something that comes with the territory.
Right, it's a temporary type of situation. I'm fine with it.
So when the other development, Peter, comes, I know they have a sign now, but if they want to put a sign up like that, you have the answer.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine when they come in, they'll want to talk about some kind of fence banner to block the view to the site. And, maybe it's an opportunity for the village to look at what that means for future, construction projects, to have that kind of large banner on a fence.
There's not that much more on Albany Post Road. There's not that much more space to build, as we all know. Unless people start taking down, some developers start taking down, a group of buildings and doing something. Anyhow.
When the road work is completed, I would imagine shortly, would there be an opportunity to put that banner on the fence?
Put it on the fence. Yeah, we can look at doing it if there's no objection.
Just curious.
Okay, I think the board is okay with that.
Great. Okay.
Where do you want to start, Dr. Wheelan?
So I guess what I wanted to ask was, I know there was a lot of back and forth between our professional staff and the village staff. If there's any particular items you wanted us to start with, or if you wanted to go through kind of point by point what we have prepared.
I guess point by point,
Okay.
that would be the best.
So
Because I know we've all received plans
Yeah.
and information.
Okay. So I'll turn it over to Anthony Nestor from JMC. He'll walk through at a high level.
Good evening, Mayor, trustees, village staff. My name is Anthony Nestor with the firm JMC. We are the site civil engineers for this project and have been involved from the beginning with regards to the approvals and design. As Mr. Sutherland indicated, so we were in receipt of the village's planning consulting and engineering consultants' comment memos, and I believe we've pretty much addressed most of those with regards to their concerns and comments regarding the minor site plan changes that were made during construction. So, Marcus, if you could just start from the beginning.
Sure.
So the first major change was in an effort in coordinating with DOT with regards to some of the highway improvements that were being proposed or being looked at on Route 9A. And as a result of that evaluation and review by DOT, It was decided that a left turn lane be added onto Craft Lane with some widening to Route 9 on the, I guess it would be the east side of, which is on the project side of Route 9A. And what this did was, as you can see in the shaded area here, increased some of the pavement widening on Route 9A. And has also suggested a small section of sidewalk was removed that was from the intersection of Route 9A up to the project's driveway, which DOT kind of was leery of just because of the turning movements of our cars and vehicles, because the sidewalk was up against the curb, and really was a sidewalk that went to nowhere and just went to the parking lot. And with other access points through the site further south on 9A, we didn't think it was actually warranted or needed any longer. So that was the first change. And actually, if you just go back, Marcus. So what we did also is we tried to show what the approved plan showed, which is the image up in the upper right-hand corner, to the final plan, which is the main image in the slide.
So going south for the public, there's a left turn lane? And then
Yes.
also going north, there's a right turn lane or no?
No, it's just
So
a left
just
turn
going
lane and
south.
going southbound into Craft.
And the sidewalk that was removed, it's hard to tell in there.
Right here.
So-
On the right-hand side, I'm trying to circle right here,
Mhm.
Steve. That's the section sidewalk that was removed.
It was just a section that actually just went to the driveway.
Mhm.
And it didn't go in, there was no sidewalks, it just went right into the driveway.
On the new current site plan, what is that shaded area on Craft Lane?
Right there.
Right there,
Right in
yeah.
the middle.
That is a striped median that DOT wanted to incorporate just to give more space for vehicles turning in and out of Craft Lane.
Just for the board's information too, Phil Greeley, the traffic engineer, looked at this. And he wanted to say that he can't do anything, but this is the DOT requirement, is whatever the DOT requires, that's what DOT requires. So I just want to let you know that, that was his comments that I want to share with you.
Okay. So Marcus, if you just go to the next slide,
Yep.
please. So the next slide is basically just changing out the fixture head for the site lighting. The light fixture, and excuse the image, but it was difficult to find a complete black image. But it's the right side image is the lighting fixture, which we would like to, was approved, excuse me, and on the right-hand side is the fixture that was approved by the village. So they're very similar in shape. It was just a manufacturer coordination and trying to get availability for the fixtures for on the site. Mounting heights would remain the same. It's the wattage and intensity of the lights would all remain the same. It's just a slight little change to the fixture. It still has the ornamental top with the globe on it and the fluted base on the light pole.
And just for the board's, to keep this consistent, the Village Square Carbone project will match the same kind of lighting in front to keep the lights consistent along Route 9A.
Thank you.
Thank you. So some of the other changes were to, I guess, the retaining wall / rock cuts on the property, and there was two major rock cuts. There was one that was on the northeast side of the property, right by the parking lot, and there was another on the southern eastern portion of the site behind the building. So this is the front slope that I know was involved in some of the meetings that was very discussed at length with regards to the aesthetics and things like that. And as they were doing construction, the extent of the rock wasn't, it was where they did the borings, that's where the rock was. So as they were doing construction, the amount of rock required to be removed wasn't as extent as we thought it was originally. So the slope was a lot flatter. And where it is right now, instead of having a vertical rock slope or whatever, it's a reasonable riprap slope with regards to the one wall here, which is,
So it's less pitch.
it's less pitch. It's a lot flatter. Yep.
And I remember this, the one that was, you were talking about doing a mesh along the wall to hold the rock up and stuff
There
like
was
that?
discussions at that
Right.
at one time.
Okay.
but
That's
there's
just
no
to
need.
refresh everybody's
So
memory.
and in order to help also soften it, they put these boulders at the base to try to get it up a little bit, where there will be some landscaping to try to break some of the bottom of it up as well. And then the second one,
Do we have, George, did you have any kind of
Oh, yeah.
slope stabilization
So
on that?
the geotechnical engineer, which is Carlin Simpson, is going to give us a letter.
yeah, I was going to get to the next slide.
Okay.
Because really, if you go to the next slide, this is the southern wall behind the building, and it was the same situation with regards to the extent of the rock, the hardness of the rock and things like that, and it didn't really need to be cut as severe as we originally planned with regards to the topography. So as you can see here on the image, it's just going to be an existing rock face with no mesh and things like that. And Mr. Palmer suggested, and actually the project's geotechnical engineer is out performing an analysis just to determine what the fall zone would be for this particular wall, because it is relatively close to the building, and just confirm that it's a stable slope and it's not going to require any additional meshing or anything like that. None is anticipated.
And that's behind the buildings.
This is behind the building, which you wouldn't be able to see anyway unless you were walking behind the building. Okay, the next change was with regards to the width of the parking spaces and the park.
Oh,
Alan's got a
question?
question.
Come to the mic, you gotta come to the,
Microphone, it
Oh.
won't pick up the minutes. They have to speak into the microphone, otherwise it's unintelligible.
Thank you.
George.
You're guilty.
Thanks, Eileen.
Guilty, George.
Yeah.
So the next change to the site plan was to the width of the parking spaces. I know that when we received approvals, the parking space dimensions were 9 by 18, but I know since then the code has changed to 8.5 by 18 with stalls. And this area here, we were able to pick up an additional landscape area with regards to the interior islands in the parking lot. So you can see these areas in green. This is the first or the northern access off of Route 9A into the site, where if you looked at the approved, and I'm sorry I don't have a copy of the approved site plan, but the island was almost exactly the width of the sidewalk, so there was very little room between the curbs on either end and the sidewalk in the middle. So this provided us, an opportunity to add more landscaping and at least, shield the sidewalk so much as you were navigating through the parking area. And this area will be landscaped as well. And I know Mr. Palmer commented on some drainage and things like that. The landscaping that's being proposed in this area, they're all low shrubs, flowering shrubs. So there wouldn't be any kind of conflicts with utilities with regards to anything below ground. Okay. The next change was the location of the hot box, which is the backflow preventer for the project. Originally, the hot box was anticipated to be located off of Craft Lane and tie into the existing 6-inch water main, which runs north from Craft Lane up. But when the mechanical engineers were doing their analysis, they needed to connect into the 12-inch portion of the water main, which is further south on the project. So that required the hot box to be removed, but relocated down between the hardware store and the Buchanan Commons property, where if you look, that's where there was the third pedestrian access that we had proposed on the plan. And so that's where the hot box was located and approved by the health department as well.
So you're not going to have the third area just past the hardware store? That's not going to be accessible?
That is what we would like, yes. We would try not to have people access past this device, and since there's 2 other sidewalks very close to there, we didn't think really that it was necessary to have the third connection.
Can you just shed some light as to why you don't want public access to that specific?
Well, we don't want anybody, I'm not saying that people will, but tampering with the hot box itself, even though it would be locked, but still, we just want to maintain access to people that would maintain it.
Can you even maintain a reasonable sidewalk is my question, with the hot box location?
Well, it was always shown as a graveled path, And yes, there's still a gravel path, and it's still on that side of the hot box. And the connection point, and I know Ryan wants to speak on this behalf too, is, nobody's going to be servicing the hot box from Route 9A, so they would have to be doing it from in the site. And again, AMS, since this has been located here, doesn't really want to introduce pedestrians to that part of the building either. They'd rather have people come in more and towards the front of the building. And, the hot box is going to be landscaped, so.
Yeah, will there be any
Marcus.
screening? That was going to be my
The next
question.
slide.
You want to go to the next
Yeah,
slide?
so
Second
next
now?
slide.
I think you can actually see a picture of
Yep.
the hot box.
Yeah, so that's the hot box.
Okay.
I'll just say a couple of things
Yep.
on this as
Yeah.
well. So, I know it was a real strong
I'm
focus.
sorry, make sure you come to the mic.
Oh, yeah. So I know it was a focus for the village to add connectivity from our site outward. And this is one of the locations that we discussed doing it during the site plan approval. I think in putting the hot box here, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to, direct people from our property out through this way to go past the hot box, for one. And two, it could be a route where the public could access the site, and, we don't want people bypassing the front door of the building, really, because it would be an unprotected area. There will be cameras, on that side of the building, but we don't want people just wandering onto the property through kind of a side, alley between two other properties. It's not really like a safe area to have, the public access our site. And I think if we were to maintain a path, we would have less screening in front of this thing. I think our goal is to shield this thing from 9A as much as possible with tall, evergreens. I think for all those reasons, the path doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to us at this point.
So this slide kind of shows all the access points that are to the site from Route 9A. So you have, the northern one, which we enhanced with the width of the islands to add more landscaping. And then you have the southern one there, which is more the accessible route access from Route 9A to the front door.
Next.
Yep. So also, I guess it is proposed to, I guess there was a bench that was located along this pathway as part of the site plan approval. And since we're not prohibiting, we would like to discourage people from going through there except for the maintenance of the hot box. We really didn't see any need to have a bench there to promote people to get into that area. There is going to be a bench located in the rear of the building, more towards the pond. So we thought that was.
So it would be facing out to the pond, overlooking the pond for your
Yeah.
residents.
And I'm not sure, Ryan, are they open back benches or do they have backs to them?
No,
Yeah, come up.
Doesn't matter.
So I'm not sure if this slideshow shows what we're doing now with community garden, but to
Oh, yes,
answer,
you have a
does.
slide on that.
To answer the first question, yeah, we'll have a couple of benches back there overlooking the pond. There'll be a back on them, so it's comfortable to sit and just kind of hang out by the pond. But we also activated that back area a bit by putting the community garden on grade. It makes more sense to have that piece, on grade versus in the
There you go.
building, which is here.
The right side.
This is stormwater stuff.
So yes, so this is the next slide and one of the next changes that were made. As part of the stormwater management pollution control plan, we had designed these large stormwater plant areas in the back of the building just to try to create water quality and some detention for the stormwater, access to try to get the stormwater to go through these planter islands and to clean them up and things like that. And then during the process of, developing the mechanicals and things like that from the roof, there was portions of the roof that were planned to go into this area that couldn't be piped into this area. So what we did was we added a water quality structure, which is the center slide, so that we could still provide the water quality that we needed to treat the water to meet the requirements of the state and the village with regards to stormwater, which reduced the size of the plant area behind the building. And I know George Palmer had commented on there, we did provide some water quality calculations just to show that all the water quality measures are still being met. And also, I had some conversations with Mr. Palmer as well with regards to just overall drainage design to make sure that as you can see in the center slide, there's a series of underground stormwater piping for detention so the water gets held there and released at a certain rate. That whole system still operates properly and still meets all the requirements of the permit. But
Can you explain the community garden?
yep, I'm going to go to there now. So as you can see on the right-hand slide, in reducing the planter area, we were able to place a community garden space, which is on that, I guess it would be the southwest corner of the building, and that area is in green right there. So there'll be a series of raised beds, some sheds and things like that, and benches in there, so residents can have a garden.
So on top of the new storm collection system that you have here, you eliminated the rain garden completely? And
No.
what's on top of that now?
So the blue area above where it says plant area is still going to be a stormwater plant area.
So it's still gonna be rain garden?
It's just being reduced because there was a square footage of the roof that we couldn't get into that area. So in not being able to get that amount of water to that area, the size of the planter didn't need to be as big as it was originally. So in providing the mechanical water quality structure in the corner allowed us to shrink the size of that area and still meet the requirements and provided space to where the community garden can be placed.
So everything's underground now, pretty much, for that portion of the roof? And
Yes, there's
and the
a
rain garden
portion of the
collection
roof
area.
that couldn't go into there will be brought into the underground.
All right.
And then there's still some calculations I think I need to get Mr. Palmer with regards to his agreeance on the way the system is designed and things like that. I know it does meet the water quality requirements like I had mentioned. And I do have some other calculations, George, that show that there's really no increase in any of the rates of discharge and things like that. And the system is still sized to accommodate the project.
And there were pavers going around that side for the fire access. That has not
That all still remains.
been altered.
Yep. Did you just go to the next slide? So this is another, we're going back to Route 9A. And I guess this was also as a result of village traffic consultant, DOT, planning staff, and I know there was a lot of people involved, village manager, but I think even representatives of the project further south from us, which is to add the section of sidewalk from where our hot box is to connect to the existing sidewalk past the Forest Meadows property. So this was approved by DOT, and I believe it's being constructed.
Just to make it clear, this off your property extending the sidewalk.
Correct, so
Public
this is being
understand that.
extended, yes.
Yeah, they were working on that today. I
Yep.
saw 'em.
So this does create the connection between our property and
Commons.
the commons. Okay, this next slide, and I do apologize because it's probably going to be very difficult to see, but one of the comments from the village engineer was with regards to the outline of the building. There were some minor changes made, but if you look at the image, the red line is the approved layout of the building, the outline of the building, and the black line with the colors is the actual building as it currently is today. And you can see that actually I think it's a little smaller, Ryan, if I'm not mistaken, so it does fit within the footprint of what was approved today. And then if you go to the next slide. So this is with regards to the emergency access that goes around the building. There was, as you can see in red, there was a pedestrian path that was proposed within the center of the emergency access drive. The access path is still being proposed, but it doesn't meander, and it kind of just follows the extent of the, I'm going to say, the east side of the fire access lane. And I think this does, I mean, it's not as aesthetically, I guess, with being meandering, but it does aid, in my opinion, the village fire department so they can have an access of where the demarcation of this access drive is, so it's a little bit more clear. But
So
if
have
the-
you had a conversation?
I have not. It's just my opinion.
Yeah, the pathway is remaining the same, it's just a walkway for the public.
It's
But
just doesn't
anytime we
wind.
change something, you should just have a conversation with the fire department too.
Okay.
Quick question, that path is still rated for the fire truck?
Yes, it would be still rated. So it
Okay.
doesn't really change, just the, the location of it.
And the material of the path, is that a paver or concrete or?
It's a paver, isn't it?
It's a paver.
It's a
Yeah,
paver.
okay. I don't think you're changing the material.
We're not changing anything except for the alignment of it.
Okay.
Nothing else is being changed. So if you go to the next slide. It was noted that one of the EV parking spaces was, I thought it was missing, but it was relocated. So what we did was we took one of the EV spaces from the north parking lot and relocated it up to the front of the building to make it an accessible space as well. So we didn't really lose any parking spaces or the number of electric vehicle charging spaces.
What was the
Just
reasoning for
relocating
that?
it. Excuse me?
What was the reasoning for that? Just to,
I think it was just to provide an accessibility for the electric vehicle charging, because there was
Yeah.
no handicap accessible
That's what-
electrical
that's what I was
charging.
trying to
So
get
this
at.
does satisfy
So it
the
was-
criteria.
okay.
And then if you go, and that ends really
That's it.
description of the changes.
Okay.
So all these changes have been implemented already,
Yes.
and you're just presenting to the board today? Okay. Any questions from the board? Comments, questions?
No, I just want to say that I like the progress you guys are making there. It looks good. Everything looks good. The wall, the sidewalk. Appreciate the add-on of the sidewalk going into the commons next door. That is a good gesture. I did like the access point through that pathway. I understand the reason why it's not there, though. I understand the reason why you want to keep it that way. So I'm good with it. I think your progress, the building looks great.
Thank you.
I did have one question. Across from where that walkway was, that where the hot box is, it looked like they were doing some kind of work on the opposite side of the street today.
It's an ADA ramp.
I'm sorry?
That's an ADA ramp.
It is, okay. I just trying to get to the bottom of what they were doing there.
And
Okay.
that's for the crosswalk, correct?
Yes.
Okay. That's the only question I had, Mayor.
George?
The one comment about the hot box, if it so happens that pedestrians or people are coming out of the building and they use that so frequently, it could turn into what's called a desire path. And Anthony and I talked about a little bit about that today, or yesterday. And it might, if it does turn into that, where people are going around the trees or going around something and still making their way there, I think it would be good to revisit that, and David can chime in on that, to revisit it and maybe look at it again in the future after maybe a year or so, and maybe establish that path. Because I looked at it tonight, I looked down there, and to me, at one point, the path was shown behind the hot box, but if you look at it, it's almost like a straight shot right down the pathway. If you stand in the middle of that straightaway section and you look down there, it's a nice walk, actually. You've got the trees, and it's a nice place to walk as an alternate to these other routes. But that would be my recommendation or comment, actually, that if it does become used frequent enough, that maybe reconsider it and putting the stairs that they had or something to make it more walkable.
Was there supposed to be lighting through there?
No, it wasn't ever
Okay.
intended to have any lighting.
Yeah, just to respond to that, I think we're definitely open to revisiting it, especially once the building's operational and management can see what people are doing, what their tendencies are. If they are using that, then we're definitely open to it. We think that most people probably won't use it. They'll go out the front door and out the main exit of the site, but we're
Thank
open
you.
to it.
Yeah, I think it's just human nature, if they're coming out, if it's closer, do you know what I mean? They're not coming out and then walking back up to Dunkin' Donuts or what other places, other businesses there, you
Yeah.
know? So I think
Absolutely.
they're at the pool, they want to have a Java, whatever, you know, they might shoot closer instead of, I see the two openings, so, you know, it's further north of the hardware store. I see the openings. So it's just human nature to look for the shortest spot,
Yeah,
so.
no, absolutely, and that's something that we do with our properties, is see how people are using them and make adjustments, as necessary, so.
Okay, good. George, are you all?
Yeah, that was it for me,
Okay,
Mayor. Thank
Dave,
you.
I'm sorry.
Just had a couple quick comments. On the banner sign that they had referenced earlier, I'll note that in Sleepy Hollow, down by the Edge on Hudson project, they have those types of signs on the fencing all over the place, indicating where new buildings are going up. So that's a typical
Yeah.
response by developer to promote their application. And those are temporary signs, so eventually they'll come down and it's encouraging to hear that their pre-leasing is already underway and they're already getting traction on rentals. On the hot box, we discussed this a little bit before. Can you maybe soften the visual impact by color? I think you had a stainless steel type of. Can that be painted at all? Forest green or something along those lines? I would imagine they would have to rough it up, the surface, whatever, to get something to affix to it. But I think, again, in my opinion, the landscaping should, once the area is apt for evergreens. Right. And we're proposing skyrocket junipers and some arborvitae's there, so it should provide a pretty decent screen.
Okay,
But
that may
I
be
don't-
something that gets revisited later, just as you talked about
Yep.
the desire line and the walkways and the accessibility. So those are really my comments on the presentation. Just for the record, the applicant has come back because the staff has reviewed the site plan. In the approval resolution, it says, "Any material change from the site development plan approved as part of this resolution shall require the applicant to seek amended site development plan approval." So the question before your board right now is, I think we've reviewed in detail all of the issues that we collectively as the staff have identified and that you, as part of your review of the site plan. In my opinion, I think that these don't appear to be material changes, they're field changes. I think you've all reviewed them. So just to make it clean, I've prepared a very quick resolution. This allows you all to say that, and for the record, you've reviewed the changes. They're not material changes, they're just field changes, and allows the building department to continue reviewing the application, and issuing the certificate of occupancy at the appropriate time. So this is just for the record.
I think before the changes were implemented, I think the changes should have been brought to the board so that they were aware. So now the changes are done, so now it's coming for us to okay it. So
Yeah, no,
that's what I was asking before, that
Right.
just,
Yeah, but as part of the process, there is some discretion to allow for these changes. And so while they went ahead and they did make the changes, they're actually coming back and they're presenting them to you. I think for the most part, almost all of these are typically would be considered field changes. They wouldn't be coming back here anyways. But
I do understand
Yeah.
that, but it's like after it's done, then the board is okay, or is the board okay with it?
Right.
So you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes, no, I get-
this has been
yeah.
going on for a while, just a little better communication of what was going on. That's all I'm saying.
Yep.
It's
No,
just,
And I think the applicant has been very forthcoming with the presentation they made tonight with the changes to the site plan.
the other thing I want to say, I'm sorry, just for the audience, what a hot box is, because we're talking about a hot box. Not everybody knows what a hot box is. So just for clarification, if Dave or
That's a
George
technical
could.
engineering
It's a backflow
terminology.
Okay.
George?
Yeah, okay.
That's a place where the water service comes into the building. It's called a hot box because it's heated year-round. The pipe comes out of the ground, goes back into the ground. It's got a meter and a backflow preventer in it, and it protects the water system. This system is connected to the fire hydrants. It has both domestic and fire protection pipes coming out of it, and that's what it's there for, to protect the
And just
protect
for
the
more
water supply.
clarification, why couldn't the line just go directly from the main into the building so the public can understand that?
From the backflow preventer protects the water supply. The health department requires every connection to the water system to be protected against backflow, which is any undesirable water getting back into our system and somebody accidentally drinking it. So that's why it's there.
And if that area isn't fenced in, I will tell you, because we have an issue with our box out front. The deer love it. They graze on it. So you'll have it trimmed around the bottom.
And we have actually three. We got two over for Lafarge, and we have one for the Wick. They're out front. And actually, the Wick one, if you look around it, it's got similar type of screening around it as you go in the entrance on the left. If you want to see
And the
what
commercial buildings have it too, but they're inside
they're inside.
the buildings.
It also depends on how far away from the property line and from the water main that it's located as well, so.
Correct.
Okay, I'm sorry, Anthony, I interrupted.
I just, Peter, through the consultant, were you aware of this relocation when they did the tap?
The project manager discussed a few things as they were going along that might be changing.
So this location of the hot box, and when they tapped the main, you were aware of that? Our consultant was on site when they did the tap, correct?
Yes.
And his minutes and his notes were presented to you, George, so you were aware of it and you were aware of it, prior to us being aware of it.
Yes.
Not saying that's a bad thing, I'm just saying that we were all on top of it.
Correct. And there, as Anthony mentioned, that wasn't an option. So there's a 6-inch main that goes.
No,
down
I know why they did it.
Oh,
I know why
okay.
they did it. I mean, they had no choice. The pressure was, especially with the service that it was required.
Correct.
So everybody was aware of the situation.
Correct.
Okay.
Just to add in, just as the DOT required that work to be done at the corner, the Department of Health required the hot box to be located there. So those two items were required by two separate agencies that really the village had no say over. All the other items, as the mayor said, could have been addressed earlier, but you're absolutely correct.
Just to be kept in the loop.
And the light, what was the reason for the change in the light? Was it
I think there was just
availability? or discontinue?
availability of the fixture itself.
Okay.
So it's just really the darkened glass compared to a lighter glass.
I think they're both going to be dark black. I believe it's
Oh.
like a dark color. It's just the shape of the fixture itself.
Yeah.
It was very
It's
minor.
yeah,
but
it is minor.
It was a
That's
change,
minor.
and we tried.
Yeah.
Yeah, the photo that I had in there, it was very difficult to find one completely black.
Any other board members? Any of our consultants? We have people in the audience today. Anybody else want to make a comment before we allow AMS to go? We're good? Okay, thank you. Oh,
Eileen.
Eileen. Absinger?
I just want clarification on the sidewalk from going north. That north way going down towards Reggie Selleck's, that's where you guys would want the sidewalk versus the other side going south. There is no sidewalk, correct? So does any of that left-hand turns, right-hand turns, does that impede any sidewalk?
Crosswalks?
It doesn't
North.
impede
No,
any
to the north.
sidewalk
You're talking to the north. yeah.
implementation
I don't think so.
going north?
No, there's plenty of right-of-way there
Yeah.
to go.
Okay.
To go further down the street, so.
Yes.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
All right, thanks, Eileen. Okay, so thank you for coming in to review everything.
Thank you.
Yeah, so Mayor, you do have some language before you on that resolve clause.
Yes.
Just for the record, and maybe make it easier, just to,
And we take a vote on this?
Yes.
On your, okay. Resolved that the Village of Buchanan Village Board is the responsible party for approving the site plan for the AMS Buchanan Residential Community. The Village Board has reviewed field changes made to the approved site plan, including reports from village engineer and village planner, and a detailed presentation from AMS, and conclude that the field changes do not constitute a material change from the originally approved site plan. Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, have a good night.
So, George, you might want to stay for a second. I'm not sure. And Peter, you might want to stay. I think Dave, I think we're okay with you. I don't think there's anything else on here for you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Dave.
See you later, Dave.
Puck drop.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Tonight's the night.
Opening night.
Next, we are going to be making a motion to waive the fee for the Boy Scouts of America PAX 36. There's dates that are in here that they are going to use our Westchester Avenue offices and potentially the pavilion. So there's like 5 meeting dates starting October 20, 21st, November 17th, December 8th, and January 12th. Originally, they wanted to meet in the pavilion. I think it's going to get a little cold for these little guys there, so it was decided that they would go into the Westchester Avenue offices. So I'd like to make a motion, and also the insurance. Have we received the insurance yet?
Yes.
Okay, great. Perfect, perfect. So I'd like to make a motion to waive the fee for Boy Scouts of America PAC 36 to use the Westchester Avenue offices and pavilion contingent on insurance that we have received. Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, the next is, and we have him here with us this evening, Mr. Mike Miner, who has been videoing the village board meetings for a long, long time, over 27 years. And Mike, you know what? I want you to come up to the podium for 1 minute, because nobody knows who the Mike is behind the scenes.
You gotta change the camera. Change the camera. There you go.
There he is. Hi, Mike. So this is Mike Miner, and like I said, he has been videoing our meetings for 27 years. He's done a great job. He produces a professional project. He's always available. He helps us when we have issues with our techno stuff. And just wanted to thank you, Mike, for all your years of service. He's very dedicated, and he does a great job for us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's it?
So,
Thanks, Mike.
that's it, unless you want to
My
say a few
television
words.
debut is,
So, Mike has a proposal here, and we are going to be, there's a proposal to do our planning and zoning board meetings. And there's an agreement for the amount of time, because our planning and zoning board meetings don't always go as long as our village board meetings. So I'd like to make a motion. Or wait, let's first discuss it. Is there anyone that wants to discuss the proposal from MJM Television and Video Productions?
I'm fully on board with it. Mike does a fantastic job. I do believe that the zoning and planning board should be videotaped, and I think Mike will do a great job in doing that.
I second what Steve just said,
Okay, good.
especially with, we've got some projects going on, and the more that the public is aware of what's going on, the better, so.
Yeah, there's a lot more going on, and a lot more people are interested, and it's good to let people know everything that's going on. So I'd like to make a motion to approve the proposal from MJM Television and Video Productions. Can I have a second, please?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thank you, Mike. And the next is a motion to release the draft handbook for union review. I know, Dan, this has been really important to you. You have been working on this for quite some time and asking for this to move forward. So is everyone, Dan, do you want to say a few words on this? or-
No, I think this is just it's important for several reasons, more of a legal standpoint, especially with human resources and, things change in the workplace on a daily basis, and I think we just, this is something that's been overdue, and I'm glad we're getting it done, and here we are.
And here we are. All right, thanks, Dan. So I'd like to make a motion to release the draft handbook for the unions to review. Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. All right, so moving on. You know what, George, before we get to our information and officers, do you have any updates that you want to give us on the Church Street and that project is completed, they paved. Our project we did right across from Village Hall, which is Church Street. The sidewalks are in. The sidewalks, everything looks great. But I drove by today, and if you could, as you're leaving today, if you could take a look. So across Village Hall, you go up Church Street. As you're going to take a right, there's a swale there that I was surprised wasn't, it's a small section of swale. Not the whole swale is like deteriorated, but just where they left off at paving, it could have been just probably paved a little.
You're talking right where the wall meets the curb?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh,
I think
okay.
you're talking about where the house is there on the
Yeah,
corner of
yeah,
Henry?
right on that
Yeah, I
corner
know,
there.
I noticed
Yeah.
it too.
Yeah,
I saw that. So that'll be on a punch list.
Okay.
We can address that.
all right, good.
Yeah, I saw that.
And the sidewalks are nice, but I just hope the residents were told and communicated with that sidewalks are nice. The only problem is, in the Village of Buchanan, you're responsible to shovel those sidewalks when it snows. Maybe we should have mentioned that.
And that's common in any municipality.
Well, the only thing in town of Cortland, I know, especially in Verplank, you see them with that, I don't know, what the heck, it's kind of an interesting snow pusher, and they do the sidewalks on Kings Ferry, through Verplank, and things like that. So some municipalities take on the liability, some don't. So just to make them aware that that's what they're going to have to do. Okay, so, is there any other questions for George? Anybody in the audience that will need George? Okay, George,
That's it?
thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Much appreciate it.
No problem.
Unless there's anything else
Safe
you want to
trip home.
share.
Thank you.
All right, take care.
Take care. Bye.
Anything for
George.
the building inspector? Will we need Peter Cook here? Are we good?
Questions?
Will anybody have any questions for Peter Cook? No? Okay. Thank you,
Mayor.
Peter.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, board. Thank you.
Peter, thank you.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.
See you tomorrow. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so moving along, reports from officers and departments, justice reports, August 2025. One of them is $2,165, received the court, $1,150, and $4,534. Court's been very busy. Police report. Oh, well, Will is not here this evening. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that trustee Baez is not here this evening. So the police report, I'm just going to do 24 moving summonses. This is for July. Altogether, 149 calls, 12 parking summonses, 4 speeding, 6 disobeying traffic control, 1 stop sign, and 1 equipment unregistered, no license, 4 of those. For August, we had 44 summonses, total calls 131. Parking summonses 7, speeding 5, disobey traffic control 7, stop sign 10, and equipment unregistered and no license 10. Highway report?
Well, this is all reorganized here.
Yeah, they did a different format.
103 tons of garbage.
There you go.
I can still find that, though.
That
Not
sticks.
that anybody cares, but I can still find it.
Just take it off one day so you notice.
I actually did notice quite a few catch basin repairs in the area, and I spoke to them about a couple of them. They put a complete new catch basin in one area, and a lot of repairs, and I see, I know Tony's really invested in doing, and Kevin Murphy as well, and they're all doing a great job, but I noticed that them guys are really taking the initiative to keep in-house work, and that's what I like to see, and they painted crosswalks, and they did a lot for Family Fun Day, and they did a lot. So, there was 8 TVs also picked up last month.
There you go.
Forgot about that. And 5 air conditioners. And that's all for today.
And then I just wanted to, I'm just looked at it now. Tony and Randy attended a supervisory training course, which is great. And Kevin Murphy obtained his CDL. So congratulations. That's
Oh,
great.
Yeah,
Good for him.
I didn't even know that.
it's all good stuff.
Okay, wastewater plant, treated water, 7,576,000 gallons, sludge removal, 58,500. There's no violations reported. There was a failure of a sludge transfer pump in, I think it was August. So things are flowing smoothly over there. Building department,
That would be me. So for the month of August, there were 1 court appearance. 15 building permits were issued or reviewed. Inspection required for newly issued permits was 12. Inspections on file for permits and compliance inspections, 18. Certificates of occupancy issued and completed, 10. And compliance inspections for resale or refinance, 3. That's really it. Oh, and just that the AMS construction site work is moving along well. Labella's inspections are taking place as planned, and everything seems to be in compliance. So that's it.
all right, thank you. Steve, Buchanan Engine,
For the month of August, there was 8 total alarms, 4 mutual aid given, and 1 motor vehicle accident. The members of the engine company also participated in the Ossining Parade on August 1st and was awarded Best Pumper and Second Best Dress Uniform.
thank you. Thank you, Cindy, for sending the Planning Board July 24th and August 28th minutes, received and filed. Next is this weekend, on Saturday at 11 o'clock, out at the Village Circle is going to be Daffodil Day. And the daffodils came in today, the bulbs. So daffodils are a flower for rebirth, hope, and new beginnings. So we'll see the daffodils blooming out at the circle, and if we have extra, we'll go over to Lentz Cove. So anybody that's interested in helping us plant the daffodils, please come at 11 o'clock. We have plenty of daffodils for you to plant. I'm going to start, I just got some information. There's several Buchanan residents we have to recognize. At the 9/11 ceremony in Croton, the Buchanan resident Addie Valentino sang the national anthem, and she did an excellent job. It was beautiful. On December 6th and 7th at SUNY Purchase, the Nutcracker performance. We have one of our very own Buchanan residents, Nadine Macaluso, who's going to do a solo dance. Anybody interested in purchasing tickets, like I said, that's at SUNY Purchase. We have Buchanan resident Liz Fiella and EMT Stephen Shyrock. They were honored for their life-saving efforts at the 2025 Westchester County EMS Awards event. So thank you very much. This was a person who was resuscitated with a cardiac arrest in August, and they were awarded the life-saving award. So, you know what, we have a lot of residents here doing a lot of good things, and you know what, I think we should always recognize them and let people know the good work that's happening here in the village. So thank you, Liz, and thank you, Stephen. Let's see. Oh, I don't have Dominic here tonight. He's on the Lincoln Society Board, too. So anyone that's interested, on October 25th, if you're interested in local history, in Peekskill on South Street, there's a Lincoln Acedra. And that was built 100 years ago, so they're having a ceremony on the 25th, and it's to recognize President Lincoln's stop here in Peekskill. So, you know, it's kind of interesting when I hear people complaining about the train. This train was rolling through this area in 1860. So President Lincoln got off the train on his way into Washington, D.C. to be sworn in, his inauguration. And he stopped because he had a friend who was he had worked with in Congress or the Senate, I forget which. So he came and he spoke a few minutes before he headed into Washington. So that will be October 25th at 1 p.m. There will be reenactors there, and that's on South Street. So anybody that wants to catch up on some local history, it's pretty interesting. And that is the only monument in Westchester County for President Lincoln. The Halloween party this year, it's going to be at the pavilion, so there's no parade through the street this year. It's on October 25th from 4 to 5. There will be Halloween music, candy, pumpkins for kids, and refreshments. And if anyone has looked out at the circle, it's getting very spooky out there. The beautification committee put up the ghost, and it looks really cute. And the only other thing I have is, I knew I had to say something to Dave, but we'll discuss it at the workshop. Okay, that's all I have for right now. Anthony? Oh, the only other thing, hopefully at the workshop, we can have a discussion about playground equipment. So I have some more information I'm compiling. Randy has some information for us, so we'll have a discussion at the workshop. Anthony, what do you have for us?
Not much. I want to congratulate the Buchanan Engine on the best pumper in the Ossining Parade. And the decorations in the circle are spooky, and they look good, and I want to compliment them on all their hard work that they do in the circle. It's very nice that they keep that up. I appreciate all of that. That's just about it, really. Wilda, I'm under the impression that she's sick. I hope she feels better. That's all I have.
All right, thank you. Steve, what do you have for us?
Just one item. I see we have a resident in the audience again. I believe it's Eric. You've been here, I think, 6 meetings in a row. I just hope, the village board can resolve his issue and the concern. I personally have no desire to impact you or your family at all in that parcel of land. I want to just, resolve this issue, get it done, and you can go about your business as you've done in your family for the 50 years you've been here. So that's all I have.
Unless you like coming here. Eric.
Yeah,
I think
you're
he
more
does.
than welcome.
I think he does. So I'm not sure where we are with
But
that.
we've gone back and forth,
Yes.
and I know you've presented several
Yeah.
times, but we just have to come up with a resolution to get this completed.
All right. So does the board want to discuss it now, or Marcus, you might have more information for us? We're not looking to cause you any grief.
So the options that we discussed, the same thing we did with the property behind the circle. You can lease the property, you do a lease agreement, you can sell the property. Those are the main two options per se. So however direction the board would like to go with that.
Whatever the least impactful resolution is, and if that is a lease, I don't know what that involves regarding insurance, or if it's a sale, what that does for
Yeah, what we
taxes.
did with the other.
Either way,
License agreement?
Yeah, license agreement.
License
So what we
agreement,
did with the
that
other
was-
person, they had to hire a surveyor to survey the area specifically what they had to do. They paid for that. They provided insurance, and then Stephanie worked out a license agreement that had to be signed off on. And then the village still owns that property, but it's been insured by the property owner, adjacent property owner.
And I think I don't remember, because I remember it was out at the circle, but wasn't that expensive, very expensive, the insurance? And it was just a little tiny itsy bitsy parcel.
Yeah, that was one of the difficulties they were having. They were getting really high prices. And in the end, they chose an insurance company. It wasn't cheap.
No, because what happens is it's not officially their piece of property.
Yeah.
So they don't, the insurance carriers do not like to name a municipality or a township as an additional insurer, because think about the broad scope of liability. They're not going to do it. So it requires a special policy
Yep.
just for that parcel of land for liability, and it gets to be it's not cost effective, it's expensive. So let's try and, lighten the blow and do this thing the easiest way possible for this gentleman, that's my feeling.
So the other alternative, is there any price to purchase that property? I don't know, we're trying to look at the options and see what's
What
Is it
the-
surveyed? Is
if-
it-
if
what's
the-
workable.
So if the village wanted to sell the property, again, he will have to pay for a survey, an appraiser, and then the village board can take the appraised value and sell the property for that appraised value.
So there's no survey, even though it's part of the village
Right,
property,
I mean,
there's no survey
Yeah, why
already?
would
We have, it's including part of the entire village parcel. It's not a separate survey for that one piece of property. So we have to survey that specific piece of property to sell that strip of land.
But what can a paper street be valued at? That's,
Correct. But to municipal law.
in the long run, that may be the cheaper aspect for this
Correct.
gentleman.
Correct, long-term wise. And to sell municipal property, you have to have a survey and sell for fair market value. That's state law.
And if we left it as is, then there's liability, the village
Correct.
has liability if someone was to get harmed.
That's correct.
On that parcel.
That's correct.
So that's not considered a paper street? That
No,
was
that's
not
part of that's all part of the village hall property.
That would have been the
That
easiest
would have been the
resolution,
easiest.
the paper street, and then,
That-
just
yes.
like we did with everyone else, we split the street.
Yep.
This years ago, I wasn't on the board, but what they did is they split the street, and then, one owner got half, the other got the other half.
Correct. It's part of the overall parcel of village hall
All right.
property, which used to be the school, which was the school property.
Right, yeah.
Well, I'm with Steve on this to try and come to a solution that's best for the homeowner and also being able to protect the village.
So what I can do, if the village wants to go that way, I can speak to the property owner, get a price for the survey and appraisal. If he's willing to pay for that aspect of it, then so you get the appraisal value, then you can sell the property for appraised value.
Can the village declare that a paper street?
That's the part of the village land.
I'm just trying to think of
Yeah.
options.
Now,
And just
it's-
let me butt in for 1 minute. Either way, whether we can sell it to him or to whoever, we should get the prices or the survey done. But I want to do some research on whether you can pick and choose who you
Right.
offer that to. Because there's a neighbor on the other side as
Yeah.
well, and it's
Right, they
municipal
might
property.
want that too, you're
All
right.
right, so I
So-
don't think this is a solution we're going
Yeah.
to come to tonight, so.
And I'll do
unfortunately,
quick
Eric-
research. It won't take me long. I think you'd probably have to put it out to anybody who would want it. Now, who really wants it? But they do have another neighbor, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
there's a
Next
neighbor
door.
to the left that might be interested in half of it or whatever. I
So the
don't
license
know,
agreement would be
I'm just
different.
saying, yeah. Because we potentially got into that same situation with the other, where people could have potentially
Yeah,
wanted it
correct.
too, so.
Right.
Okay.
like I said,
But I'll do some,
The
Okay,
sale would
thank
be
you.
the cleanest way to do it.
yeah, it would.
Okay.
If if the board doesn't feel you ever need that property, it's the cleanest way to do it.
It is the cleanest.
Yeah, I don't see, we haven't used it in, when did the school sold it, like in the 70s, and the property's never been used?
Well, this building was redone in 1976,
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
so.
Okay, perfect. I'll
Yeah.
work on that and
All
I'll
right.
talk to Stephanie and the
Yeah.
properties. No problem.
Thank you.
Okay. Dan, what do you have for us?
Just a couple things. The paving on Church Street, I think, looks terrific. I mean, the improvement there, I look back now and I'm glad we did it, because it really, to me, it really made that area a lot nicer. I did go to the DOB meeting that Teresa was at. Lot going on there. That's all I can say. They're looking at the possibility of data centers up there. I'll go on record to say I'm totally for it if that's what they're going to look at. I don't know where that will lead to, but there was a lot of upset people about the water possibly being released into the Hudson again, but that's going to be ongoing litigation, I think, for a while. But
I think they're meeting October 9th. the court asked for both parties to meet, so we'll see what happens there.
Yeah. I see the painting on the village garage started.
Good.
I think it's going to look nice when it's done. And then I had a question. The house on Blakely Avenue that's been abandoned for at least 10, 15 years now. It's to the point where it's a major eyesore. I don't know who owns it at this point, but whatever we could look to look into as far as like what we've done with other distressed properties in the past, to either auction it off, whatever, but
I think the
it's a major
town
eyesore. It's time.
is going to start foreclosing on it. It's been a while.
Well,
The roof is
the
collapsing.
squeaky wheel always gets the oil,
Yeah,
just like the
yeah.
one on Bannon. And I think if we start putting the pressure on a little bit, we'll
Marcus, can you look into that with the town?
The town, I asked the town multiple times, it's not on their list yet.
It isn't?
It's not.
Really? That's, like Dan said, it's been
I've
years.
been asking Cindy and Sharon, keep on reminding me
Really?
about it. I call the attorney's office and
Hmm.
tax receiver. They're owed a lot of money, but they're not on their list of foreclosure.
Yeah.
They're,
I mean-
they're years behind.
There's no value.
I mean,
on that
in the
property.
grass to this point, it wasn't cut all year. I mean, it's got to be 3-4
The
feet
village
high.
board has to write, by resolution, is in the code, to authorize us to go cut the grass, board it up, and then we get added to the taxes. But there is a process in the code you
Yeah.
have to follow.
Okay,
We've
so
done
then
that-
I
we did
think,
that with
I
White
think,
Street.
I think we
Yeah.
need to follow that, just like we did with the house over on Albany Post Road. Let Peter write it up or do whatever he's got to do. But it's
have
to the
an
point now over there where
Do we have an owner?
No.
it drives me crazy to even drive by it.
People passed away. We can't find the people, right? Oh, yeah, he walked away.
Yeah, I think there was a relative that owned it, that ended up getting it, but then he wants nothing to do with it. So you're right, Dan, maybe saying to the town, look, time to do something with that, maybe put that on the list.
Yeah,
To be
it's time.
auctioned off,
Like I said, squeaky wheel gets the oil. Let's
I'll call
Just
the town again tomorrow.
please.
Very good.
I'd appreciate that.
Can we, bring up the integrity of the house? I mean, it's
The town doesn't care.
no, well, if somebody gets killed in there because the roof falls on them and they're in there sleeping.
This is
Well,
White
that's why the
Street.
village, we can board it up. We have to-
Yeah, I mean, but it's not boarded up, and right now it's a liability.
Yep.
And then the
There was
last
a
thing I
process we
just
did with
had,
White Street, but
There's
we
a
need
pro-
a relative as well, but there
It's
is
a
one you're
process,
saying.
yep.
Okay.
and then the last thing I just had was the Centennial Committee. Again, anybody interested, please contact Cindy or Sharon in the office, sign up. I did speak to some of the members. They want to have a less formal type setting to meet, and maybe just, do it in a formal setting, informal setting, where we can just shoot ideas back and forth, and
Okay.
that's it.
Maybe we could meet before a regular meeting or
Yeah,
something
or,
like that.
or we just set a date on a Wednesday or a whatever it is.
Okay.
But I think the informal process of meeting is the way everybody wants to go. So I'm just putting that out on the record, that's all.
And an interesting thing that happened to me at my store, I had a descendant of the Buchanans come in the store. And I asked her, I told her about the centennial coming and everything. She's got a lot of history of her family. And I asked her if she would be interested in coming to the village to represent her family. So that was kind of cool that she just kind of suddenly walked in. I was like,
There's a lot of history
Yeah,
between these small
absolutely.
little towns, so.
absolutely. Okay, any comments? Oh, I'm sorry, I left our
Attorney's
attorney
report.
and Marcus out. I apologize. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I just have,
Okay, sorry.
I
Steph.
just have a real quick update. I heard from Certainty Council, Chris, and from Anthony Miranda today. They wanted to let us know that they got our amended, drafted, what we would be willing to sign as far as an agreement, and they said they sent it to corporate, and they have not heard back yet, and they don't expect to hear back anytime soon because it's budget time, and so they have not gotten any comments back. They just wanted me to let me know that they did, they did pass it along, and there's no movement.
Okay,
So that's all I have.
all right, thank you.
Oh, I do have one other thing. You guys the board hired Tony Piscinari to help, the attorney, to help Peter with the building department with respect to one particular property. So I spoke to him today, and he's going to get it together and get with Pete and sort of try to move this along, because it's been quite a while with no movement.
Okay, yeah, because I know there's,
I mean, it
Some
has to be taken, some of the
concerns.
stuff going on over there has to be taken care of, and we've put it on the record that we've hired somebody and we're going to do something, and we probably should. So I just wanted to update you on those two things.
all right, thank you, Steph.
Yep.
Okay,
A
Marcus.
couple of quick things to follow up on Stephanie's certainty. They actually came to the building department tomorrow. They're going to be coming to the planning board for site plan amendment. They want to add a 1,000-gallon propane tank to the site with an extra shed next to it for deliveries of the material. So I just want to let you know they'll be coming to the planning board meeting at the next meeting. So that's one aspect. Following up on Anthony's comments regarding DPW, just to let everybody know, one of the hydrants for AMS had to be raised up part of the sidewalk. So I went to AMS and the hydrants, the original hydrant's been there, I don't know how long. I said I prefer not raising an old hydrant that's been there probably 50 years. So I asked them to replace the hydrant, and they did. They actually gave us a brand new hydrant at no cost. And our guys put it in. So we probably saved about between $14,000 and $15,000 by AMS paying for the materials and our guys putting it in. So Gibbons and your nephew Murphy actually put it in at no cost to the village, which is great. So I just want to let you know that. On the water department, Tony's been doing a great job in the water department as well. Sydney and Sharon have been working with him regarding water leaks and people not being notified, and we try to put notes on people's doors and try to contact us, and it's been very hard to contact people, as well as the remote reader not working. So we actually got door hangers now.
Oh, good.
That we are actually, Tony's going around and hanging people up. Either seems you have a water leak, call us, we can help you, or the remote reader's not working, give us a call so we can have that repaired. So that's working pretty well. I worked with the staff on that, so we're trying to get communication better with our residents regarding that aspect of it. Then the other thing I just wanted to address, a resident came to the last meeting on September 19th, made a couple comments, the owners of 3109 Albany Post Road. Just wanted to clarify some of the comments that were made at that meeting. And I think it might be just miscommunications. I want to make sure I clarify this as well. They mentioned that at the May 27th, 2025 meeting, that I made a statement that the village was going to litigate against them if they don't put the sidewalk down and store in front of their property. Just want to clarify, when I mentioned litigation based on Anthony's comments on that meeting about the sidewalk was, during the planning board meetings, they're the ones who raised that they do not want a sidewalk in front of their property, in front of the planning board, and that they will hire a lawyer, and Stephanie knows this as well. They will hire a lawyer
did
to
hire one,
litigate,
yeah.
and they hired one, to litigate against the village. So the planning board did not mandate the sidewalk to put in, so that's why that died. But at the same time, I wanted to address that at no time did I say the village was going to litigate, and no time did I threaten that the village board was going to litigate in any way. I was just referring that if we wanted to move forward, they're the ones who threatened litigation. So that's the reason I want to clarify that. And then the other thing, they mentioned that the Village Square or the Carbone project had 3 violations. I said with the building department, there are no violations on the Carbone property. Just want to clarify that as well. That was mentioned at a public meeting. I don't think it's fair comments that have been made about a neighboring property when it's not true. So just want to clarify the record on those 2 items. Thank you.
And I wish they were here that night, that they could give their side of the story too. So we heard one side of the story, so it's always fair to hear both sides.
Correct.
Yep. Agreed.
Okay, so, anybody in the audience, any comments from the audience? Eric, don't be shy.
Never am. I was going to give a speech, but I don't need to give this. What I will say, the gist of it is, whatever you decide to do with that, remember how it will affect people 50 years from now. My mother won't be there. I won't be there. I don't know who'll be there. We don't know who'll be sitting here. They may not be calm people sitting over there. They may be very to the T, to the letter of the law. And they may want whoever sits here to maintain that property. And Mr. Serrano is worried about liability. If you sell it, liability goes away for the village. And my mother is willing to pay a fair price. She's willing to pay a fair price. Although personally, I think after being there 55 years, at the end of this month, all the time that she's taken, I think she's more than paid for the property. And as for the neighbor, she's got a driveway. She's not landlocked, as was said by the board. So,
How many years?
55 at the end of this month.
Thank you.
Do you want the speech I was going to give? Do you have a copy?
Who, me?
Yeah,
Yeah, let's definitely have it. You bring it up tonight.
I'm serious.
So your family had the property while, I'm just thinking, while the school was still here? I'm
No,
trying
the school was closed.
The school was closed,
No,
okay.
nobody was here in the building.
Okay, all right. I'm
And
just
out-
trying to get a time.
Out
yeah.
there, the parking lot was just dirt, broken glass.
Huh, okay.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to remember, yeah.
Although the odd thing is, if you go over on the strip, well, I call it the driveway, parcel B, there's like a section maybe about this big that's crumbled pavement. So it had to be done back in the 50s and 60s. But I don't know why. Because it's not the whole entire thing.
I just remember when I went to school here, and that goes way back, there was a gate, it was like the whole building, the
Yeah, I
whole
rem-
area, the
I
front was fenced,
vaguely
everything
remember
was
the gate,
fenced. That
yeah.
was gated. There was only one way in and out through the driveway. There was no way
Yeah.
coming out the back. We had a baseball field out front.
Yeah, because
you just couldn't get out.
when they paved this, back in 1976, they sent my mother and father a letter saying that they were going to pave it and to keep in contact with the construction paving company back then for the schedule, so.
Interesting.
And that was sent by the village to them.
That's when they were doing the building, setting the
Yeah.
they purchased the building and they were renovating and
Yeah.
doing everything. All right. Well, we're gonna work through this, Eric.
Yes. And thank you for mentioning it. And it's only my third speech.
Felt like more.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
thanks, Aaron.
Any other comments? No? Are we all good? All right. All right, I'd like to make a motion to close the meeting. Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, and have a great Buchanan day.